sir.
Yes, sir.
Please listen
Yes,
to me,
please.
sir, again. I remember saying in very clear terms, the questions written will be attended to. Thereafter, we will allow anybody here who has a question. I thought that was what I said.
Sorry, let me make my point clear, please. The point I wanted to make was some of us sitting are Christians at the prompting of the NTA. Not because we wanted to set our questions in advance.
Okay, so
we would have
wanted
sending
it in.
Yes, we thought
still want to read.
We would have wanted not to read it again. We want to
okay.
ask questions ourselves.
That's okay.
Thank you.
We'll look at the name. Once we see that the person is there, we will ask you.
Let's get people to answer that.
Is that okay? Are we
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we kept reading our questions.
Yes, sir.
So terrible.
This question was raised in Atlanta, Georgia, when the passenger came to Atlanta. See that idea of we writing that question, say pass it to our guest. He is never she or he, but not her, because I can see that spirit of servant put in her. That lady is not a superstar. You see, what we do, as they do in Western world, in a civilized world, my question will precipitate his question. His question will precipitate his question. We ask them if only two people, he can answer their question, that's okay. But writing, this is end of the one style.
That's okay.
That's
end of the one style.
It's okay. Can I start by taking 35 questions from the audience? Starting with. So I don't know the qualities of tourism. So let's Mr. President, make his comments. So because I really don't mind.
Fellow Torontonians, I really have enjoyed a lot of confidence from you, and I don't have any problem with us trusting each other. When this meeting was called, and I have shared it in our WhatsApp group that there is nothing happening, everything is transparent. We have it's been a progressive thing. We didn't have time, and we've asked questions, how should we go about it? And just like Chief Agency said, suggestions were made, and we have continued to alter what we have done. Please, I want you to know that we just wanted to give preference to people who showed more zeal than others. Immediately we started talking about this, some people have responded. I think it's only proper that we give them that first chance to talk. And so the reason why we actually asked for the questions to be written was so that we can give their timelines. They have timeline. We have only a couple of hours to spend here. It is not possible that we can deal with everybody's question here. So we just wanted to have a pattern that at least gives preference to the person who acted first.
That all Nigerians in the diaspora we have access to, and not just NIDO member. So the second question, should I read all three questions? Okay.
Yes.
So the second question is, how can we get the required access to various government agencies in Nigeria without any bureaucracy? And the third question is, what office is responsible to work with Nigerians in the diaspora that want to set up business in Nigeria? Thank you.
Ask the next question. And the question was asked by Mr. Elwoza. I hope the name is correctly pronounced. I'm sorry if I didn't. I don't know if the person is there, but that's the question here. And Excellency has taken note of it. That's the second question. We also have another question. This is from Sir AJC. I don't know if you're here, sir.
Yes, I am.
Okay, sir. Could you please ask your question, sir? Thank you.
Your Excellency, Honorable Abike Dabiri.
Please, let's take note that, please, let's make questions, please, because of our time. 2 minutes we have, please.
Your Excellency, the SSA to the President of Foreign Affairs and the Diasporas, and all other protocols will please permit me to stand on existing protocols. Thank you. As you guys would see, I was so determined to ask this question because it's been burning so much in my heart that I don't want to miss an opportunity to ask this question. Before I proceed with this question, I want to make a remark on what the Honorable said about remittances to Nigeria. And my own economics seems to be in opposite direction with what the federal government currently is doing. Because as far as I'm concerned, an incoming income is an incoming income. And so whether it came from the official or unofficial, money remitted by Nigerians from overseas to Nigeria is money remitted to Nigeria is into our positive column. And so restricting us is really forcing Nigerians to go back from sending money back to Nigeria. So bring this message back to the government in Nigeria. Let's go to my question. Honorable.
I think that's question number 1.
Sorry?
That's a question, so I think that question.
It's okay. Okay, so now my focus question is this. And I'm going to give you a little background. Many Nigerian newspapers have reported in recent times the gruesome killing of unarmed pro-Biafran agitators by Nigerian security agencies in Anambra State, Imo, Enugu, Abia, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Cross River states. The most recent being the massacre of pro-Biafran protesters, mainly from the IPOB and MASA on May 30th, while they were marking the Biafra Day Memorial in our nation. Human rights groups in Nigeria, including in and outside of Nigeria, including the city in Nigeria and Amnesty International, report that up to 300 unarmed Igbo youth have been killed in Nigeria between May 29, 2015 and the 30th of 2016. It is also on record from what we know that the leader of this group, that is the IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, is being currently unlawfully detained by the Nigerian government after having been granted bail by competent Nigerian courts. In view of all these happenings in Nigeria, an American, a non-Nigerian, an American congressman, Tom Merino, recently wrote a letter to his Secretary of State outlining or describing all the atrocities the government has committed. Or if I would say...
That's great. Please, just go straight to the point.
Well, that's his question. Let him ask this question. That's his question. Let him ask this question.
It's more than 2 minutes already.
No, that's
get
okay.
a preamble to that question.
That's not okay.
You need to understand it. Allow him to ask his question.
Gentlemen, the more we discuss, he will have finished his question, so let's allow the person to
Very good, very
Thank
good.
you very much.
This is an important question.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The U.S. congressman also suggested that the U.S. government should withhold all security assistance to Nigeria until this government demonstrates commitment and becomes accountable not only to the world but to the people of Nigeria. My question, Honorable, I do know with all due respect, and I respect the job you've been doing for the Nigerians in the diaspora, from your time as the House Committee Chairman on the diasporas, that you have put yourself in the service of the Nigerian people with all your heart. When we put these questions, we put them with due hope that you will bring them to where they should hear them. The question we ask is this: what is your government doing currently? One, to stop all these senseless killings of our youth. They are the future of our tomorrow. Number two, is there any plan by your government to ensure Nigerian unity with the way the things are going and restructure the country? And finally, how do you or the government really characterize its actions and inactions towards all these killings that in parts of this part of the world that we are in would have been more democratically and civilly resolved. Thank you.
Of consulate in Toronto. It's not only in Toronto. We have other countries that have requested for consulates too. Why the request, when you ask me? The absolute need for quick service delivery, especially consular services to Nigeria. A proposal specifically on Toronto was tabled during the last dispensation. And it was, I think, computed and budgeted, but approval not out. So it's yet to be determined how many, not in only Toronto, I think Toronto and about 3 or 4 others on it. So we are still waiting when government will turn there and probably give approval and budget for it. But it's on the table. That's the
He has gone to work.
How can you ask the question?
He has to go to work. That's why we are here. We are not as lazy as Nigerians there. He has to go to work and pay his bills.
Yeah, no, man.
So we have to step aside.
No, we are listening. It's not, the question is not for him only.
Can you listen to me?
Now, first and foremost,
Yes.
listen down. Sir, Jason came here and said, your government. It is our government.
Yes.
Please
Okay.
note that. And I'll tell you something, and I'll speak as a woman, as a mother. You talk about unity and all that. We're stronger together. However, nothing is compulsory. We want to do it, let's do it in peace, progress, and with sincerity.
Yes.
Of purpose. There's no government who will want his children or her children to be killed senselessly. The issue of judicial killings have been looked into. And it's not only in Adama, we've had other cases. The report of the sheriff report just came out. So I don't want to, because it's a question they didn't want to be answered anyway. But I'll tell you something. Let us think with our brains. When you talk about the U.S. congressman, that U.S. congressman, have you asked yourself what agenda he's following? Look at what he wrote. Kerry just left Nigeria. Kerry will answer him. He should have asked his own American consulate in Nigeria. You know, and I don't want us to always have this complex about ourselves. A U.S. congressman cannot decide your future. Your future will be decided by you. And only Nigerians can make Nigeria greater again.
Say that again.
So that's really not good.
Let every U.S. congressman, you see, they keep ridiculing you and you accept it. You know, let us take our pride of place as Nigerians. Let us tell them, this is who we are. We are the brightest and the greatest. And when we have a leader, we don't all have to like him, under whom we have the opportunity to excel. You have a president who will not steal your money. You have a president who has no money.
No way.
Unity of Nigeria is in our hands. It's in all our hands.
Is that why he's
but the
killing
people-
youths? Is that why he's killing young people?
No extrajudicial killing. That case, they've been asked to investigate it, and it will be investigated. But I tell you
It's not
something.
being investigated. It's not being investigated.
The government has been indicted for that.
Okay.
The government has been indicted for that. So, what the heck?
Thank you, unarmed youths. Unarmed youths. Thank you.
The government is already indicted for that.
My brother, tell you are just I don't think what he did is right. He asked the question and left. In Parliament,
We waited 3 hours. We waited 3 hours.
where's Jeff? Okay, Mr. Jeff, you asked about the issue of harnessing our
Let's just order please, so that we can quickly take the question. This question is just a simple line. Let's allow
Order, please. Thank you.
Yes. Sorry, your full name again.
My full name is Mazi Jerry Okoro. Mazi Jerry Okoro.
Yes, let me digress a little bit because there is something you have said here that has bothered me when you said that we have the president that hears. I think if he is hearing well, he would have heard from the courts to release Nnamdi Kanu after 3 release order from the courts. I think he has problem with his ears, and that is why it has not been rectified. Maybe that's why
I think we also will have to respect us.
Yes, yeah.
Let's show respect. And I appeal to you, my brother.
Breaking the law every time.
It's a free speech.
He's a free. Allow him to answer his question now.
Free speech.
Let him say what he has to say. What is that? Don't do that, please.
Ask your question.
Ask your question.
Another thing you said about maybe when somebody is looking for land.
Can we have order, please?
Somebody is looking for.
Please move on to your question.
Mama, ask your question.
Jerry,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ask your question.
Okay, my question, let me start by this. Let me take the liberty to mention a Greek philosopher, Plato, who said that no man is hated than the one who says the truth. This is what is happening in our place. Following Buhari's vindictive and sectarian, intolerant, authoritarian, and discriminatory attitude.
You don't have to say that. What's wrong with you guys? It's not a God.
Let them ask this question now. You're wasting the whole time. Go ahead with your question.
Please allow him.
Allow him, but you also respect us.
So following Buhari's vindictive, sectarian, and intolerant, authoritarian, and discriminatory attitude, alienation of opponents and polarization of positions, which are predictable outcomes. We see today that Islam now controls army, police, judiciary, customs, and education. In spite of his orchestrated war against corruption that spares his friends, relatives, and party members, Nigeria is seen as a divided nation in denial of its fragility. So my question is this. What visible plan and strategy has Buhari and APC put in place since after the change master which they used to take the power? What strategies has he put in place to promote unity in the country called Nigeria?
Thank you.
I go to the next question, and this question is from
I mean, you see somebody who has 62 houses, and you are saying the houses, and the court is saying it's not until he's proven guilty. That is innocent. So we all have to just, I mean, what the president is saying, that just let us speed up this process, because it gets very frustrating. And I hope we'll work at that. And it gets really annoying. You see obvious cases, but until, and like the president himself said, as a military head of state, he probably would have jailed them before the whatever. But since he can't do that now, he should pay the penalty. And we need to develop the institution and make sure that we sustain this fight against corruption. Never again should we go back to where we're coming from, where corruption became like the norm, and it was done with impunity. And I still say today, we probably would have gone under. Let's thank God that we're even alive as a nation today. So thank you.
There's a complete
My
lie.
brother, Mazi, where is it? Has it gone? Is he here? You actually look like one of my neighbors. I still really declare.
Not cousin.
You said, don't let me tell you what to say. You want to go, that's supposed to help me to come.
Carry the banners. Why are they not carrying the banners?
Let's control, let's not contradict it.
Okay, so let's just
What do you mean? What's the why? Are you guys deciding to she is whatever she wants? You are not the only one in the profession. What do you mean? Then shut off your video. Shut off your video. Your work is horrible. That's
whatever problem we have will be sorted. And we all want to work together to make it happen. And let us seize this opportunity and seize this moment. And by the way, I have one Fulani wife for you. Okay, let's take our picture. Can you also stop?
Hey, but I'm still here.
Okay.
Well, we are not afraid that this picture may go to Buhari to stop us.
There is enough. There is enough.
Don't do now.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm a Muslim and I practice. Some people still discriminate against me and say you don't do this, but it's between me and my God. Yep. Yes. President Buhari is one person that is not fanatical about it. And I'm telling you this with all sense of integrity and respect. And I'm saying it's a personal, it's my own personal observation. You know? In fact, most of the time, when you want to sing, you want to get covered. So you are wasting your time. It sees you as a human being and it's not seeing you based on what you wear. And I'm telling you, I was shocked when I discovered that. When I got to know you. So the last question that will establish Nigeria is President Buhari. In fact, for those of us who, believe that it was being established to this, they will tell you that there's nowhere God will not answer your prayers. You're right. So let's just take that. I don't want to go further because I got to be a little bit more. And before that time, I was one of those who would say, oh, this man is fanatical. He's not fanatical at all. In fact, that's one of the most liberal persons that I know. Virtually, almost half of the staff are Christians. His personal staff, people who you give your lives to, are not Muslims. So how can that kind of man sit down and Islamize Nigeria? So let's just take that as one of those misconceptions. And as well, I mean, if we go to the same market, I don't care who is providing that. We'll go to the same market, we're going to buy the same fuel, we're going to, buy the same thing. So I think let us work on having good leadership in our country. And no matter what happens, politics in Nigeria will never be the same. We're working at a situation where power truly is belonging to the Nigerian people. You're going to go to the polls eventually to vote for the person you want. That is one of the things this last election achieved, where you can't take people for granted anymore. Your results will speak for itself. So, and I think that's a major progress forward. And as that happens, democracy gets stronger. And when you get into office and you know that one vote can get you out of office, you're not taking anybody for granted. So, and I think when we look at that, rather than saying, my husband is Christian. My best friend is Igbo. So what are we talking about? So let us just work together to build a greater Nigeria. I believe that we will all achieve it.
Can we move to that?
That's it. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
fix it.
Please, let's make it straight to the point.
Honorable, my name is Christian Saylor, President of Igbo Canadian Community Association. So, welcome to Canada. I wanted to ask you many questions, but because of your behavior today, the way you handled this meeting, I kind of changed my mind. Thank you so much. Because I'm a leader of the community. Maybe I'm going to invite you to talk to my community, especially because of the anger in my community. Thank you. In regards to the embassy, I was in the embassy some time ago. I met Amago, I don't even know his name. He treated me so well. The people in the embassy are good people. I won't lie to you. Then the website stopped. The website is not very good. But these guys, they are doing a good job. Okay, so, but madam, please, the question for my community will not pertain to any other thing. But please, there will be no more killings. The youth, the other day in Enugu State, people who are sleeping in their villages, some people went and murdered them. Some cattle, whatever. So, please, I want you are close to the government. I want you to know the killings has to stop. Yes. Please. Thank you very much.
That's leadership. And I say to them, simple. The difference between this part of the world we find ourselves and our home is nothing but working infrastructure. The infrastructure here works. And that is the major, and that's what I tell them. That is the major difference between this part of the world and my country. So, my questions are simple. Nigerians are very intelligent people. We have some of the best policies put in place.
Please just ask the question. What
measuring indices do we really have in Nigeria in tracking performance? Because we see the growth of Nigeria continually drifting. What measuring indices do we have? Two, it's a question in parts. The other question is, we are talking about attracting people back to Nigeria to set up businesses to employ people. True. But there must be the enabling environment or laws, regulations to protect and support these people. Are these laws in place? Are they implemented? Three, we talk about enforcement. We have people who possibly commit crimes and whatever. Now, the truth of the matter, if it must be sincere, because it's town hall, the truth of the matter remains that if we do not have an enforcement policy that actually punishes people when they have done wrong and makes them get out of those offices, nothing will ever improve in that country. So,
my name is Charles Alaribe. Some of the question that I really want to ask, Mr. Nsilo has actually touched part of it. But moving forward, people like Chief Olufale from the southwest has been attacked by House of Many, the herdsmen. And if you go to the southeast in Benue, the attack is ongoing all the time. Now my question is this. Now in spite of all these nefarious activities by these herdsmen, Buhari's government is yet to classify the activities of these people as a terror, and also has not been able to classify them as terrorist organization. May I know why this has not been done by this government?
Thank you.
That's a good question.
My name is David Esho, and I welcome you to Canada. My question is that in Nigeria, there are a lot of workers who are not getting salary for 10 months. So most of these people cannot pay their rent. And I'm looking at it as the fact that the present government is indirectly endorsing corruption. How do you expect somebody to live if you don't pay him any salary for 10 months? You know it's surviving. So you are saying you can do whatever you like, I'll look at another place. So that is one question. The second one, like your department, to make out some brochures to give to us that are in diaspora. If you want to come and start business there, what you needed, please. If you want to come and start business, what you needed, because if you go directly, you are not going to find it easy. But you should be able to help us who have been here for donkey years to be able to navigate when we get to Nigeria. So those grants have to come from you that can be of use to us. Thank you very much.
Fight against military against the using military against civilians, to me, was absolutely not tolerable. It was not the right thing to do. In any developed country in the whole world, you cannot use military against the civilians. One. My second question is, how possible are we going to move and have the change when, first of all, 85% of those in the APC, the ruling government, are those corrupt people that were in PDP, that brought Nigeria to the level Nigeria is now. And they all have been changed from PDP to APC. It's only change of name. It has not changed their character and who they are. And they are there to still defend whatever corruption they committed and stole. They will not be there to help maybe fight the corruption that the president said he was fighting. My third question is, why is the government always going after those who criticize them?
Yes.
You notice that those who support the government are not being attacked. As soon as you criticize the government,
the same Fulani herdsmen.
Find something to be able to corruption. You are arrested.
That's right.
Claim something. Why was the government, when we have civil government in Nigeria, where everybody has the right to say whatever they have to say, if the government is not to say anything that is against the government, there is a court of law. The government has the right to sue the government, rather than arrest you and put you in jail for long years without any reasonable
Thank you.
What is the government doing about raising? So finally, I will come up as the chairman of board of directors of the Nigerian Canadian Association, because the president has mandated me to give a vote of thanks, which
not now.
It's okay, he can do it. Well, not now, because she has to respond to those questions.
Sir, I think your question is still about leadership, and it's about what we talk about values and how we should all change it. I think that's a summary of what you are doing. Yes, we all have to do it together, change our values, change our orientation, and decide where we're going. So thank you for your advice. My sister on education, a lot is, there's a committee has been set up to review the curriculum. But again, what you're doing in that regard, your suggestions to welcome. Honorable Chief, PIB, but I'm just asking, what are we producing as a nation? Nothing. We're not exporting anything. And we're saying
This video woman come out now for.
so PIB is left to the National Assembly. But beyond PIB, in fact, I think I'm marking this as zero oil.
I'm here, madam.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'll come. When you invite me, I'll come to visit.
Yeah, come visit us.
I don't mind to visit. Or promise me that I'll be okay.
No, you don't.
I'm not referring to protect me. But we will hold more engagements. And that's what government is about. Listen to people, give the feedback, and let's look for solutions. So thank you for that. Yes, what you presented has been said by the young lady. The website needs to be improved.
Yes.
And I'm sure the embassy has listened to you. Okay. Okay, working infrastructure. This is the only administration that has given 70% of capital budget, which is to build infrastructure. You're going to see results, but it's not going to be immediate. So it's going to come. That's why it's a priority that, and I think some money have already been released for that purpose. So you're going to see it. And by the time we gather together this time next year, you'll be saying you've done this and that in terms of infrastructure. So you have a government that will cut wastages and excesses. And a lot of money is being pumped into infrastructure because we know that that is just what has to be done. So thank you too for your question. Enabling environment, that was your other question. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're going to wait forever for a perfect enabling environment, by the time you come, the train will have left you. So we didn't get here yesterday. It's been spiraling downward decline, and we're saying that we should stop bringing service to them. We just have to move this country forward. So all efforts are being put in place, and we believe we'll achieve results. It's not going to be overnight. It's not possible, but it will happen. In fact, slowly, gradually, you're seeing a change in that attitude. Slowly, gradually, we're seeing it. It will take a while, but we will get there.